The wrap party for Crimson Echo was a glittering, champagne-soaked lie. In a ballroom dripping with crystals, the cast and crew celebrated their success. It was the moment of the night, a PR stunt designed to go viral. The couple's choice game, where the leads would playfully select their favorite scene partner. My wife of 5 years, Lila, the star of the show, didn't hesitate. With a radiant smile for the cameras, she walked past me and straight into the arms of Leo, her co-star and childhood best friend. The crowd roared with approval. Then, under the pretense of staying in character, they kissed. It wasn't a chaste, professional peck. It was a deep, lingering kiss, a performance of passion that felt disturbingly real. Flashbulbs erupted, turning the room into a blinding white daylight. Afterward, as Leo grandstanded for the press, Lila delicately wiped her lips, a small, triumphant smile playing on them. She looked like she was savoring the memory. My role, as always, was to be invisible in the background. I quietly slipped out, the sound of their laughter chasing me into the rainy night. I got into my car and disappeared into the storm. Later, I saw the clip online. The celebrity blogs were already buzzing. Leo had made sure the kiss was a trending topic. I watched the video, focusing on Lila's face, the soft, bashful expression she wore as she pulled away from him. A hollow ache opened up in my chest, a vast and empty space where something used to be. My phone rang. It was Lila. "Ethan, where are you? Why didn't you wait to take me home?" Her voice was sharp with accusation. I steered the car around a corner, the tires hissing on the wet pavement. "I'm busy," I said, my voice flat and cold. A pause. She sensed the shift. Her tone immediately softened, turning into the sweet, cooing voice that had always been my undoing. "Oh, darling, don't be like that." Leo's character had such a tragic ending in the show. We were just giving him a little compensation for the fans. You know, everyone knows we're just friends, practically siblings. If there was anything more, do you really think I would have married you? In the past, that honeyed voice was my kryptonite. It could extinguish any fire of anger within me, leaving me placated and eager to please. But tonight, it did nothing. The hollowness in my chest remained. 3 years we dated, 5 years we've been married, 8 years. All my friends warned me. An actress's heart is never truly yours, they'd say. It's a stage, and you're just a character. In her current play, I refused to believe it. I thought my devotion, my unwavering, all-consuming love, would be enough to make her my wife in heart and soul, not just on paper. She didn't want our marriage to be public. It would hurt her image, she said. So for 8 years, I remained her secret, a shadow running to catch the brief glimmers of her spotlight. I thought we were running toward the same future. I never imagined she'd take a sharp turn and leave me on a different path entirely. Back in our silent, cavernous house, I found the gift I'd bought for her, a vintage locket she'd admired. I dropped it into the trash can without a second thought. My phone buzzed. It was a notification from a social media account I followed, one of Leo's private fan accounts. He had reposted a fan-made video montage of him and Lila celebrating their on-screen anniversary. His caption read, "Through sun or rain, I'm waiting for you, my Lila." Moments later, Lila's own private account, the one I thought was just for her close friends, reposted it. Her caption was just 3 words. It was always you. In that instant, the last 8 years of my life recontextualized themselves. I wasn't her partner. I wasn't even a supporting character. I was a joke. Lila came home in the early hours of the morning, the scent of expensive perfume and alcohol preceding her. I was sitting on the sofa in the dark. The headlights of her taxi slicing through the living room blinds had pulled me from a stupor. She flicked on a lamp, saw me, and smiled, her movements unsteady. "Darling, you waited up." She leaned down to kiss me. I turned my head sharply. Her lips met empty air. She didn't get angry. She just chuckled, a low, throaty sound. "Fine, be moody. Be a dear and pack a bag for me, will you? Leo and I are taking a trip together." I remained motionless. She tugged at my arm, her grip surprisingly strong. "Come on, Ethan. Leo's waiting in a car downstairs. Hurry up, and grab a couple of your down jackets. We're going to Iceland, and he gets cold so easily." I finally rose to my feet and looked down at her, my voice devoid of any warmth. "Can't he afford to buy his own coat?" Her smile vanished, replaced by a flash of anger. "Ethan, have you had enough? You know my relationship with Leo. We grew up together. He's like a brother to me. What's wrong with a brother borrowing a few of your things? And if you're really that cheap, I'll transfer you the money. Consider them sold." She shoved a large, empty suitcase at me. I didn't catch it. It hit the floor, then toppled onto my foot. A sharp pain shot up my leg, and I buckled, sinking to my knees. The impact sprung the latches on the suitcase she had just brought home from her trip. The contents spilled across the marble floor, her clothes, toiletries, and, lying starkly amongst a pile of her silk blouses, a pair of men's boxer briefs. There was no ambiguity, no plausible deniability. In that moment, it was brutally clear. 5 years of marriage had lost to a childhood sweetheart. The love I received was nothing more than the scraps left over from Leo's table. I didn't want to hear her excuses, the same tired script she'd used 100 times before. I pushed myself up, walked into the guest room, and looked back at her. "Lila," I said, my voice a cold, dead thing. "When you get back, we're getting a divorce." She just rolled her eyes. "Fine, if you don't want to pack, I'll just buy new things in Iceland. Don't miss me too much, darling. I'll be back in a few days." She clearly didn't believe a word I'd said, dismissing it as another jealous tantrum she could easily soothe later. She grabbed a few items, stuffed them into her handbag, and hurried out the door. For the next 2 weeks, I heard nothing from Lila. I heard plenty from Leo. He sent me pictures every day, like a diligent tourist sending postcards from hell. Photos of them laughing in front of waterfalls, their faces so close. Their lips were almost touching. Photos of them in a hot spring, Lila in his arms. He sent voice messages, his tone dripping with condescending pity. "Hey, brother-in-law. We've always been this playful, you know. Don't mind us. Just a heads up, don't get mad at Lila. It takes me forever to calm her down when she's upset. Lila said you always wanted to see the northern lights. I took some great shots for you." Look, I didn't reply. I just saved every single photo, every single message. When Lila finally returned, she bombarded my phone with calls, insisting I pick her up. I decided to go. It would be a good time to have her sign the papers. I had my lawyer draft the divorce agreement and brought it with me. In the airport parking garage, I watched her help a shivering Leo out of the terminal and into the back seat of my car. She didn't even say hello to me, just barked, "Get the luggage, Ethan." Leo, meanwhile, settled into the back seat and theatrically laid his head in Lila's lap. "Lila, I'm so cold," he whimpered. "Hold me." Lila wrapped her arms around him, pulling him tighter. Then she glared at me in the rearview mirror. "Ethan, didn't you see Leo has a cold? Turn the heat up." I drove them to Leo's apartment first. As I was pulling away, his call came through to Lila's phone. "Lila," he said, his voice pathetic and weak. "I feel awful." "I'm coming right back, Leo," she said, panicked. "No, don't," he sighed dramatically. "Your petty husband will just get jealous again." Lila shot me another venomous look. "Don't be silly. Your health is what's important." After hanging up, she commanded, "Turn the car around. Now." I saw the traffic light ahead turn green and kept driving. For the first time, I spoke my mind. "Lila, can it wait? Can't we just go home and sign the divorce papers? And can't Leo go to a hospital if he's so sick?" I was done with her commanding tone. For years I had savored it, a sign of her reliance on me. Now it made my skin crawl. It was always like this when Leo was around, a performance to show everyone how well-trained her husband was. Her friends sneered at me behind my back, calling me a pathetic doormat. Lila and Leo just preened, one proud of her power, the other smug in his position as the true king. "Don't be ridiculous, Ethan. It's a matter of life and death. If your friend was sick, wouldn't you rush to their side? Then you can take a taxi. I'm not your chauffeur anymore." The words felt liberating. I pulled the car over to the curb. She started to berate me, but another call from Leo cut her off. With a final, frustrated groan, she flung the door open, hailed a cab, and was gone. I watched its taillights disappear into the city haze. I remembered the night I proposed. We were on a beach, watching fireworks bloom and fade. Against the night sky, her maid of honor, Maya, had asked her a question when she thought I was out of earshot. "Are you sure? Don't you love Leo?" Lila had let the sea breeze whip through her hair, her gaze empty. "Of course I love him," she'd said. "But I want to marry someone who loves me. And Ethan loves me 200%. So she knew. She had always known. My love wasn't a secret. It was a utility, a stone dropped into a canyon, and I waited 8 years for an echo that never came. It just fell, silently, to the bottom. I was tired, so tired of giving without return. I took out my phone, attached the digital copy of the divorce agreement, and sent it to her. "If there are no issues, come to my office on Friday to sign it." I expected her to disappear for days, to punish me with silence. I didn't expect to see her the very next day. My assistant, pale-faced, entered my office holding out her phone. "Mr. Hayes," she stammered. "Your wife, she's trending." The headline was explosive: Lila and Leo's shocking split. The accompanying video was dashcam footage from my car, showing me dropping them off. The narrative they were spinning was that I was the jealous husband who had forced them apart. Just then, my office door flew open. Lila stormed in, ripping off her sunglasses. "Ethan, look what you've done." She hurled her phone at me. It bounced off my chest. "I told you I was just taking pity on him. Is your jealousy so toxic you have to ruin his career to feel better? This show is important for both of us. Why do you have to destroy everything? Pity him." I just shook my head and laughed, a bitter, humorless sound. Leo had nothing to pity. I was the one who got him the part of the tragic male co-star in the first place, by drinking with a studio head until I had alcohol poisoning and a bleeding stomach. All because Lila had pleaded, "Darling, Leo hasn't had a good role in so long. Can't you help him?" He had built an entire career on the broken puppy persona I had bought for him, and now she was accusing me. My phone rang. It was Leo. "Ethan, a man needs to be magnanimous," he said, his voice slick with false sincerity. "Lila and I are just friends. If something was going to happen, it would have happened long before you came along. All this talk of divorce, these dirty tricks. You're just trying to push me away. But Lila can't live without me. The more you do this, the more she'll hate you. Then let her divorce me," I said through clenched teeth. Lila snatched the phone from my hand. "Ethan, divorce is something I say, not you. What gives you the right? You want a divorce? First, you'll have to get through my friends." She had a stable of male friends. In the past, the thought of her with them would send me into a drunken, weeping panic. I'd cling to her, terrified she'd leave me, and she would always soothe me, whispering, "I'll never, ever say the word divorce." But Leo was different. He was the exception to every rule. When she was with him, I would go half-mad looking for her, driving to every place I thought they might be, only to watch them from a distance, lost in their own world. Then I would wait, a loyal dog, for her text or call summoning me to come and play the part of the driver. She had taken my devotion and ground it into dust under her heel. Not again. Never again. I took the signed divorce agreement from my desk and held it out to her. "Sign it. Then you can go play with your friends without any baggage, right?" Then I called our housekeeper and told her to pack every single one of Lila's belongings and have them couriered to Leo's address. The house was in my parents' name. She had no right to be there. That night, I came home to a house that was blessedly, wonderfully empty. It felt like I could finally breathe. A frantic ringing of the doorbell woke me from a deep sleep. I opened the door. It was Lila. For the first time ever, she had come to me without being summoned. "Darling," she began, her voice strained. "I was too hasty today. I was just so worried about Leo. We have several brand endorsements as a couple. If news of a split gets out, we'll be in breach of contract. His career is just taking off. He can't take a hit like that. Can't you just release a statement saying you're a friend of ours?" Her words were just noise. I remembered a text Leo had sent me after the call that morning, a final threat before I blocked him. "The one who isn't loved should know their place. Or I have 1,000 ways to make sure you never see Lila again." For years, Lila had been recklessly confident in my love. My love was a utility, an everyday commodity she could use and discard. Her love was a luxury item, doled out in tiny, precious amounts to keep me hooked. "I don't need to clarify anything," I said. Her gaze dropped to my bare chest, and a familiar spark lit her eyes. Her hand reached for the towel around my waist. "Darling," she whispered, her voice husky. "It's been a while, hasn't it? If you make this go away, I promise I'll make it up to you. Every single night." I caught her wrist. "And what would your fee be for that service?" Her body went rigid. A moment later, she gasped, a sharp cry of pain, and crumpled against me, unconscious. The next time she woke up, she was in a hospital bed. A doctor was scolding me in the hallway. "What kind of husband are you? Your wife is 6 weeks pregnant, and you didn't even know? You need to start taking care of her, do you understand?" I said nothing. The doctor just shook his head in disapproval. "A child? Lila would never have my child. She was meticulous about contraception. She always said a baby would ruin her figure, her career." I had agreed, reluctantly, to a childless marriage. Her eyes fluttered open, filling with tears as she saw me. "Ethan," she sobbed, "for the baby's sake, can we please not get a divorce? I know how much you've always wanted a child. Please." She wanted me to raise another man's child. The cruelty was breathtaking. Before I could say a word, Leo burst into the room. Lila immediately turned her head, wiping her tears. Darling, could you step outside for a minute? Leo and I need to discuss some work matters. I left without a second's hesitation. In the hallway, I ran into the attending physician again. He gave me another disapproving look. She can't be left alone right now. Stop sulking and go take care of your wife. I managed a small, cold smile. She's not my wife. And it's not my child. The doctor's expression shifted from judgment to awkwardness. Oh, well, that explains it. You seem like a responsible fellow. I was wondering. From inside the room, I could hear their hushed, excited voices. Lila, is it ours? Leo whispered, his voice full of wonder. Yes, she sobbed happily. They embraced. But soon, their happy whispers turned to arguments. Leo, don't you want our baby? Lila's voice was sharp with hurt. Of course I do, Lila, he soothed. But now is not the right time. It will affect my career. How will I provide for you and the baby then? Listen, just humor Ethan for a little longer. Let him think it's his. He can take care of you both for a while. He'll never know. I didn't go back. For a week, I ignored Lila's constant calls. Finally, I answered. Ethan, when are you coming home? I'm not. If you want to keep staying there, you can start paying rent. Fine, Ethan Hayes. You'll regret this. You'll come crawling back to me, and I won't forgive you. A week later, my mother called, demanding I come home immediately. When I arrived, Lila was sitting on the sofa like a queen, while Leo lounged beside her, scrolling on his phone as the family maid served him tea. My mother was bustling around them, a nervous hostess. It was as if they were the masters of the house. Lila was convinced she had me. My love was her safety net. The baby, her trump card. And my mother's desperation for a grandchild was her ultimate insurance policy. Well, look who decided to show up, she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. I thought you'd abandoned your poor, pregnant wife. What's wrong? Regret it already? You held out for quite a while this time. I'm impressed. Now, come here and tell me exactly what you did wrong. Beside me, my best friend Alex, who had tagged along for my mom's famous cooking, snorted. Wow, all that money we spent on your career, and your acting is still that bad. Alex was an A-list actor and the hidden majority shareholder in the production company I ran. Lila, who prided herself on her professional skill, flushed with anger. Tears welled in her eyes. Leo immediately rushed to her side. There, Lila. Don't listen to them. Go upstairs and rest. I'll handle this for you. She leaned against him, giving him a look of such tender gratitude, a look I had never once received. When she cried, I was the one who panicked, clumsy and useless. With Leo, a single word from him turned her into a gentle lamb. The difference between being loved and being used had never been so clear. Once Lila was gone, Leo's demeanor changed. He turned to me with a smug, conspiratorial grin. Ethan, my friend, let's not fight with the ladies. I promise you, I'll have her sign the divorce papers tomorrow morning. She's always listened to me. But, on one condition, the lead role in your next blockbuster. It's mine. Alex looked at him like he was insane. Are you out of your mind, Leo? Am I dead? With your face, the only role you're suited for is the other man. Leo was unfazed. That depends on what your friend here values more. His empire, or his queen. I laughed. Is that all she's worth to you? A single role? His confidence swelled. Fine. That, and 5% of your company's stock. Alex kicked him, hard, in the shin. He'll take the empire. An empire grows. A beautiful woman can bring it all down. Take the witch. Consider it a parting gift. He grabbed my arm and started pulling me upstairs. Leo scrambled after us, clutching my sleeve. Ethan, think about it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime offer. I shook him off. My mother, finally seeing the truth, stepped forward. Mr. Leo, my house does not welcome degenerates. Please leave. Upstairs, Alex poured us both a generous glass of whiskey. Ethan, my man, you finally grew a spine. I'm proud of you. We drank long into the night, but the alcohol did nothing to numb the ache. I was strangely, painfully sober. As Alex got drunker, he pulled out his phone. Look at this. I had a guy follow them. These two have no shame. He showed me a video. Lila and Leo, in the back of a car, kissing with a desperate, hungry passion. Send it to me, I said. Ethan, if you take this woman back, I swear I'm quitting. I'm not going to keep making you money just so you can support her and her parasite. I won't, I promised. A fool gets his heart broken once. Only an idiot lets it happen twice. Suddenly, a roar from downstairs shattered the quiet. Ethan Hayes, you get down here right now. It was my father. In the living room, he stood, radiating fury, while my mother tried to comfort a weeping Lila. "Kneel," my father commanded. Thinking he was angry about the divorce, I immediately dropped to my knees. How did our family raise such a disgraceful son? "You will apologize to Lila and Leo this instant." I was baffled. Why should I apologize to them? He threw his phone down in front of me. It was playing a video, a cleverly edited clip of Lila fainting, making it look like I had pushed her. Leo stood beside her, playing the part of the righteous protector. "I never knew you were this kind of man, Ethan," his voiceover said. "Lila is carrying your child, and you hit her." "Ethan," my mother cried, pointing a trembling finger at me. "Lila told us everything. You hit her, you left her all alone while she was pregnant, and you demand a divorce." Leo, of course, was there to add fuel to the fire. "Mr. Hayes, Lila has been with you for 8 years. She finally gets pregnant, and you do this? At your age, are you even sure you can have another child?" My mother paled. "Don't you worry, Leo. We will take good care of Lila." They attacked me from all sides, a 4-person firing squad, leaving me no room to speak. I was a condemned man. Finally, something inside me snapped. "Enough!" I roared, the sound echoing in the silent room. I turned to Lila. "What game are you playing? Is that child in your belly even mine? I gave you a chance to leave with dignity, and you throw it back in my face, in front of my parents?" I took out my phone and played the recording I'd made outside her hospital room. The color drained from Lila and Leo's faces. They never imagined I would have proof. Lila began to wail even louder. "Dad, Mom, look, he's using fake, edited recordings to frame me. Leo and I are like siblings. He's ruined Leo's reputation. How will he ever get married now?" Leo jumped in. "Mr. and Mrs. Hayes, we are innocent. Ethan, you must have found someone else, haven't you?" Their teamwork was flawless. They must have rehearsed this. "Your acting is wasted off-screen," I said with a cold smile. "You say it's edited? I can have a forensic audio expert here in an hour. We'll see who's lying." When they still wouldn't back down, I opened the gallery on my phone and laid it on the coffee table for my parents to see. The photos Leo had sent from Iceland. The videos Alex's PI had taken. The security footage from our own home, showing Lila and Leo kissing passionately in a corner when they thought no one was watching. My parents averted their eyes, their faces a mixture of embarrassment and disgust. Before the wedding, they had disliked Lila, but had accepted her for my sake. Now, my mother physically shifted away from her on the sofa. "Lila," my mom said, her voice strained. "Can you explain this?" Lila grabbed my mother's hand, her eyes wide with panic. "Mom, it's a misunderstanding. Those are just pictures and videos from the set of our show." Seeing the flicker of doubt in my mother's eyes, I played the final video. The one from the security camera in our living room. It was undeniable. Leo lunged forward and smashed my phone to the floor. "Ethan, that's confidential footage from our new show. I'll sue you for leaking it." "My living room is a film set now," I asked quietly. My mother understood. She stood up and slapped Leo across the face. "Do you think I'm an old fool? You treat our home like your personal hotel." She turned to Lila, her voice filled with contempt. "You, with your vixen face. I knew you were never the type to settle down." Settle down? I had wanted nothing more than to settle down with her. I had thought marrying her was the greatest blessing of my life. I had accepted her half-hearted affection without complaint, asking for nothing but the hope that one day she might learn to love me back. I was glad my awakening hadn't come too late. Seeing the situation was lost, Lila panicked. She was a victim who had suddenly become the villain. Alex came downstairs, holding the signed divorce agreement. I took it and threw it on the table in front of her. "Sign it, Lila. Let's part ways peacefully." She stared at it, frozen. "Lila," I said, my voice as calm as if I were closing a business deal. "Sign it now, while I'm still feeling generous. If you don't, I might just have a crisis of conscience and accidentally leak all this evidence to the press." Lila shot one last, desperate look at me. "Ethan, I'm not signing. You don't believe the baby is yours? Fine. Let's have it, and do a paternity test." Her voice cracked. "We were together for 8 years. Can you really just let it all go? You love me. You know you do. Can you really bear to do this?" Could I? The house was a museum of my love for her. The small path lights I installed myself because she was afraid of the dark. The garden I replanted with her favorite osmanthus flowers, despite my severe allergies. The countless nights I'd waited up to drive her home because she didn't want to be alone. All my love, with no trace of hers in return. The only thing connecting her to me was the way she doted on Leo, a mirror image of how I had once doted on her. Leo, seeing my resolve, stepped forward. Ethan, Lila was married to you for 5 years. Your career has taken off. How do you plan to divide the assets? My father finally spoke. All of Ethan's assets are his own. Lila gets nothing. You must be senile, Leo scoffed. There's no such thing as separate property in a marriage. Then you should ask your dear Lila about the prenuptial agreement she signed, my father said calmly. When we married, my company was struggling. My father, cautious, had insisted on a prenup. Lila, who looked down on our family's new money status, at the time, had signed it without a second thought, smugly remarking, I won't need your family's money, and I expect you won't need mine. Leo looked at Lila, stunned. She grabbed his arm. Shut up, she hissed. This is between Ethan and me. Stay out of it. Fine, I'll stay out of it, Leo shouted, his face contorted with rage. Then you can stay out of my problems, too. He stormed out of the house. In the ensuing chaos, Lila scribbled her name on the divorce papers and ran after him. A moment later, my phone buzzed with a text from her. Darling, Leo has severe depression. I'm afraid he'll do something. Wait for me. I'll be back. I looked at my parents, their faces etched with exhaustion. I didn't reply. I had waited long enough. I was numb. The next morning, I came downstairs with dark circles under my eyes. My mother had prepared a huge breakfast. My father was silently brewing tea. The usual lectures were replaced with a heavy silence. Ethan, my mother said, her voice soft. You've gotten so thin. She's not worth it. I shook my head. I'm okay, Mom. My father put down his teacup. If you don't love a woman, let her go. I gave a weak smile. I don't want her anymore. The pain in their eyes was evident. I was the one who had sworn to love only her. I was the one who had fought with them for her. And now, I was the one saying it was over. I'm sorry, Mom, Dad. It's okay, son, my mother said, pulling me toward the table. You're home now. That's all that matters. As she piled food onto my plate, tears I didn't know I was holding back fell onto my rice. No matter how successful I was in the world, only here was I still a child. After that, I moved back in with my parents. Lila and Leo, now officially a couple, became media darlings, their faces plastered everywhere. Seeing them smiling together no longer stirred anything in me. We just needed to finalize the divorce, and we would be free of each other. Then, Lila's agent called. Mr. Hayes, Lila is sick. She's refusing to see a doctor and keeps asking for you. I put down my video game controller. If she's sick, she should go to a hospital. I'm not a doctor. She can't, Mr. Hayes. If the paparazzi see her, they'll start rumors. I remembered the old days. She'd call me, her voice thick with congestion. Baby, I'm sick. And I'd drop everything. I'd drive through a snowstorm too. Buy her favorite wonton soup. I'd patiently coax her to take her medicine, sip by sip. But we were divorced now, in all but the final stamp of the law. That's her problem, I said, and hung up. Alex, who was lounging on my sofa, grinned. There he is, the real Ethan Hayes. You're much more handsome when you're not a lovesick puppy. He paused. So you're really over her? Could I ever have imagined this? A life without Lila. Before, the thought was inconceivable. Now, the thought of seeing her again was what felt unbearable. I'm over her, I said. The next few weeks were a blur of work. I threw myself into a new project, often sleeping at the office. One morning, as I stepped out of the small shower in my office lounge, a pair of arms wrapped around my waist from behind. It was Lila, her face pale, her eyes shimmering with tears. Baby, she whispered. Can we try again? It was the first time she had ever begged. The old me would have melted. The new me felt nothing but a profound sense of revulsion. She held out a small box. Baby, you always said if I came to you with your favorite thing, you'd forgive me for anything. Look, it's that mango cheesecake you love. I glanced at it and stepped away. The box fell to the floor, the cake splattering on the polished concrete. Lila didn't get angry. She just smiled, a brittle, desperate thing. It's okay. We can go buy another one. She reached up, her fingers tracing the worry lines at the corner of my eyes. Look at you. You've only been away from me for a few weeks, and you already have more wrinkles, more gray hairs. This family needs a woman's touch. I pulled her hand away. Lila, let's be clear. I was the only one providing any touch in our home. She was the epitome of a Jingdru de Liujidija, a refined egoist. Her comfort was built on my pain. When she wanted beauty-enhancing soups, I learned to cook them, always making 2 portions. One for her, one for Leo. When she wanted to lose weight, I prepared her diet meals and delivered them to her, rain or shine, standing by hungrily as she and Leo ate together. They glowed with health and vitality. I aged a decade. Ethan, we had 8 years together. How can you just throw it all away? You promised we'd be together forever. The baby's gone, but we can have our own. I know you've always wanted a daughter. We can have a daughter, Ethan. Please. The woman standing before me was a stranger. A child was never in her plan. Now she was dangling one in front of me like a carrot. I felt nothing but a chilling sense of detachment. I walked past her to the coffee machine. Lila, I don't want a child with you. The courthouse, tomorrow, 9 a.m. Be there. Tears streamed down her face. Ethan, I admit it, I didn't love you enough before. But over time, I realized. I did fall in love with you. Leo is my childhood friend. He saved my life once, and he has lingering health issues from it. I felt obligated to take care of him. The things you saw, they were just episodes. I was trying to keep him stable. The baby was an accident. I was going to end things with him when I got home. I lied to you and your parents because I was so terrified of losing you. Ethan, please forgive me. This was the confession I had once dreamed of hearing. Now that it was here, it felt hollow, meaningless. I checked my watch. My meeting was in 30 minutes. Ms. Lon, please make yourself at home, I said, picking up my files and heading for the door. I have a meeting. She blocked my path. I'm not moving until you say you'll take me back. Lila, what right do you have to ask for my forgiveness? You were the one who cheated. You were the one who wanted to leave. How can you do this to me? She sobbed. I think about our happy times. We can go back to that, can't we, baby? It was Leo, he tricked me. I know I was wrong. I looked her straight in the eye. Lila, I said, each word a stone. It's too late. Seeing the finality in my eyes, she switched tactics. Fine. If you won't have me, I'll go to the investors right now and tell them what a monster you are. She was trying everything, from soft pleas to hard threats. But I wasn't a child to be manipulated. Her begging disgusted me, and her threats were pathetic. She wanted a scorched earth policy now that she couldn't have her perfect arrangement. I stared at her, my voice dropping to an icy whisper. If you think you can handle the consequences of that action, then by all means, be my guest. The look on my face must have frightened her, because she took a step back. She knew I meant it. I loved her once, but I also loved my work, my company, the team that depended on me. I would not let her burn it all down. I pushed past her and walked to the conference room without looking back. That night, in the company parking garage, Leo was waiting for me. He sucker punched me, hard. This is all your fault. Ethan, he screamed, his face contorted. Lila's leaving me because of you. She even got rid of our baby for you. You were nothing but a dog following us around. And now that you've bitten your master, you're going to pay. Another fist connected with my gut. Don't get cocky. Lila is mine. She has always been mine. And I won't give her up. She owes me. I staggered to my feet, tasting blood. Then you'd better not let her go, I managed to say. A user and a manipulator. You two are a perfect match. He had paparazzi hidden nearby. I knew it. He was goading me, desperate for me to fight back so he could play the victim, sue me, and get a payout. My company was in a critical funding round. Any negative press could be disastrous. He was a cornered animal. With Lila's support gone, his creditors were closing in. This was his only way out. But I no longer hated him. Hate requires love, and my love for Lila was dead. Seeing my passivity only enraged him more. He grabbed a wooden plank from a nearby construction pile and swung it at my head. As I fell, I heard a scream. Leo, stop. I collapsed into Lila's arms. Her face, free of makeup, was beautiful, but I had no desire to look at it anymore. Ethan, hold on. I'm taking you to the hospital, she cried, her voice frantic. Leo stared at us, his eyes filled with a murderous rage. The woman who was once his puppet was now cradling another man. He loved her money and her resources far more than he ever loved her. With my last ounce of strength, I looked at her. Lila, tomorrow, the divorce. Her hot tears fell on my face, but they couldn't make anything grow in the barren soil of my heart. When I woke up, Lila was sitting by my hospital bed, fussing over me. Go home, I said. Ethan, this is our last night as a married couple. Can't you even stand to look at me? She asked, her voice breaking. When I didn't respond, she began to reminisce, talking about happy moments from our past that only she seemed to remember. She told me she loved me, that she couldn't live without me, her words tumbling out in a sincere, desperate rush. She was trying to cram a lifetime of affection into one night, as if she could force my heart to change its course before sunrise. I'm done with Leo, she declared. I'm cutting him off completely. He's an adult. His life is his own problem. Just then, a news. Alert flashed on her phone. Leo attempts live-streamed suicide. A flicker of worry crossed her face before she tossed the phone aside. The old man in the bed next to mine, separated by a thin curtain, had heard enough. He yanked the curtain open. "Lady, who are you trying to fool with this deathbed drama?" he grumbled. The young fella's already saying no with his whole body. "Let it go. You loved each other once, fine. Now let it be. Go start over. And let a man get some sleep before he gets cranky." Lila left, her eyes full of a final, bitter defeat. The next morning, I was at the city hall early. Lila arrived wearing the same floral dress she had worn on the day we got our marriage license. She didn't fight. She was calm, as if she had finally accepted it. We walked out, each holding a red booklet certifying our divorce. Snow had begun to fall, soft and silent. This year's first snow had come early. Lila looked up at the fat, drifting flakes, tears streaming down her face. "Ethan," she whispered, "I wish you nothing but sunny days ahead." I brushed the snow from my shoulders and smiled, a smile devoid of all emotion. "I'll take your word for it." Then I turned and walked into the blizzard, and I did not look back. The 8 years of my life would be buried under the snow, but I knew, with absolute certainty, that spring would come.